Hello, everybody, and welcome to Western Conference Wednesday here on Locked On NHL. I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and today I am joined by one half of the Content Boys from San Jose, JD Young. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really glad that the one half of the content boys thing is catching on, because every time I go on to another episode, like another do a crossover or something like that, that's how I get introduced is one half of the content boys. I don't know if I'm
Well,
the good half or the bad half, or yes,
you're all good. You're both good.
the less chaotic half.
The
We'll just go with
yeah,
that.
the less chaotic. But yeah, today we're gonna talk about a lot of chaos on the show, so you guys are gonna want to stick around for that.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
So chaos, that I feel like that doesn't even describe it, but I'm gonna guess that everyone knows that we're talking about the Canucks. Because how can
I
you not?
How
How
can you not start out with the chaos that is the Canucks right now? It's a glorious mess that they have continued to dig themselves into, and it feels like it's going to be a very long and bloody road to get out of this, which is
for
really weird
sure.
because like they were just in, like battling, in the bubble, they were just battling Vegas for, like in a 7-game series, and now it's
Mhm.
just all gone to hell.
Yeah, and I think like Canucks fans are some of my favorite people, maybe on the internet because they're so like some of them are so insightful, and then other ones are just out here spending all of their money on like custom made fire Benning jerseys and just like I hope I'm that chaotic, but at the same time like I don't want that to be my hockey team. Um so we have to rewind a couple days here, but I found out that Travis Green, probably like how he found out he was out of a job, through Twitter.
Yes.
Uh, oh,
Very
what
healthy
was your
organization.
reaction when you found that out?
Yeah, very, very healthy organization, to let their people know that they're getting fired through Twitter. It kind of feels like a little bit of, until like before Benning got fired, it felt very rearranging chairs on the Titanic. But I do like Bruce Boudreau as a coach, and I think he's going to
Mhm.
squeeze every bit of talent out of that current roster. But yeah, it was really surprising because like there wasn't like any like little rumblings or anything like that. It was just all of a sudden it was just like, oh yeah, Travis Green, he's done. Uh,
Yeah, and I'm pretty
that's
sure like 2 days before the owner was like, "No, like everything's fine. Like I don't know what you guys are talking about.
weak.
I'm yeah, like it's totally fine. There's no changes coming. We're good with what we have." And then Elliot Friedman's out here playing Gossip Girl. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna tell you all this before anything is announced. And I get it's part of his job, but
Yeah,
like could we maybe just wait until like his office is packed up or
yeah,
something?
or something. I know it's like, uh, yeah, like that must be the worst way to find out. Like, because I'm sure you probably have like, like just that anxiety. Like, I mean, we've all been fired from a job, or at least I've been fired. Where you just kind of like, no, yeah,
I've been
this.
demoted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you kind of like get the feeling like something's
No.
coming, but like yeah, it's gotta be the worst, and you feel bad for these guys like in their families and all that, like they have to pick up and
Yeah.
move and stuff like that. But like yeah, it's the Canucks have there's just such a tire fire right now. So, but yes,
It,
Travis, good luck to you, buddy.
yeah, honestly, I think I don't even know what to think because there was so much happening there, and then I didn't expect him to be out before Benning. I thought that it would have just I mean, I know it happened at the same time, but like
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
usually
don't
with that
know.
stuff, it's like, if you're gonna make changes, you might as well like make sweeping changes, because like you
Mhm.
want to make sure, like for at least stable organizations, right? You want like the general manager, and then the general manager picks his coach, and if the Canucks, if they just fired Benning and then like they hire a new general manager, whoever the coach is still going to be on the hot seat because he's not going to be the GM's guy, right? And I think too, especially with Benning, like looking at some of their contracts and stuff like that, where it's just like, even as a Sharks fan, like looking at the Vancouver's cap friendly page, there's just some ugly contracts in there. Like I think the Oliver Ekman-Larsson one, like that's going to be like
that's brutal.
Their version of the Vlasic contract for us or for the Sharks fans, and then it's like you've got, like I like the Quinn Hughes, that's gonna be a good contract. Like,
yeah,
fine, you've locked him up, and like Elias Pettersson, you're gonna have to pay him in a couple years, and like it's just, I don't know what this team is right now. It's like they want to try to make a run, but they're just not enough good pieces, and like the cap space you did have allocated, you wasted it, and then like even your draft picks, where it's like, like Jonathan Dahlin, who's now tearing it up for the Sharks. He was in the Vancouver system and basically was traded away for nothing, like it's been years and years of this where the Canucks, they're trying to make a run, but it's like you should be kind of rebuilding, and you have a superstar in Elias Pettersson, which is the hardest thing to find, right? Is finding that generational superstar, and you have two of them between Pettersson and Hughes, and you should be building around these guys, and they're kind of stuck in that no man's land of a bunch of young players and then terrible contracts that you can't do anything with.
Yeah, and it's like they had that cup run in 2011, and then it just kind of all spiraled out of control.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that cup run.
Yeah, well, sorry.
But, as they beat the Sharks on their way to their cup run.
Yeah, but I will say this about the 2019 playoffs. I would rather have had the Bruins play the Sharks than St. Louis. I think that would have been a better series.
Yes. Well, St. Louis in there, let's just give everybody concussions on our way to bloody. And St. Louis fans, you guys can stop with the Timo Meier hand pass. You guys won the cup that year. Can we please drop it? Anyway.
But yeah, chaos all around, and it doesn't stop in Vancouver somehow. I mean, it's every day in hockey. We know this.
It's great.
Coming up next, we're just going to keep talking more about the wonderful, Coyotes, and of course, the Ducks. The Ducks. Another wonderful organization that has just been kind of fixing.
Right
they're kind of fixing their problem a lot faster than I expected it. I didn't expect it to be turned around this quickly this season. But first, let's talk about Primal Origin oils. JD, you have a beard.
I do.
You do. So this seems like your kind of product.
They sent me some of this product.
Oh yeah. So did you get the balm or the oil?
I got the butter, and it smells like cookies. And it's wonderful. So it's done a really good job keeping the dandruff off, the itchiness. So yes.
Even better. Okay. So if you are a beard haver, or someone has a beard, maybe you can order them some Primal Origin oils that will stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed, which is, I think, like one of the best things about having a beard most important thing is having it look put together and clean. And their goal is to help others look good and live healthier lives through the use of natural oils. And the products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients, which are also good for the environment. And they're free of, just those nasty things that you probably don't want to be putting on your body. And the combo kits, I don't know if you've seen these online, but they do make great holiday gifts, and their individual products make great stocking stuffers. I know for a fact my boyfriend does not listen to this podcast, and those will be in his stocking. So, no surprise there. But I got him, they sent me the oil, and I had him use it, and he loves it. And, the least that we can offer the men in our lives is a little peace and hygiene. And these hygiene products were created and dedicated to top-notch quality. And I think that this is a great company because they were based on family values, and family is very important to me. So if family is also important to you and having a good beard, head on over to primaloriginoils.com and use promo code locked on at checkout for 20% off. That is primaloriginoil.com with promo code locked on at checkout for 20% off. And we're going to squeeze one more ad read in there because we know that you guys love them. And that is, of course, yeah, we got bills to pay. And we also love snacks. JD, this is your ad read. What is your favorite?
Oh, my favorite, as we call it over at Locked On
Yes,
Sharks.
your favorite.
I do like the coconut one and the cherry barcia. Those are my two favorites.
Can't go wrong with those. And yes, another great stocking stuffer or something to hold you over while you are around your family and will curb the hanger. So head on over to built.com today and get your delicious variety pack or standalone favorite at built.com with promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off of your order. I actually put the coconut one in my hot chocolate. It was very good. It was very, very good, and it makes you feel less guilty about consuming all those chocolatey bad carbs. They cancel each other out with the low sugar, low carbs, high protein, high fiber of Built bars. So head on over to built.com, use that promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off of your order. The Ducks.
What is up with them? We thought going into the division, the year, the Pacific was going to be hot trash, right?
Yeah. Dumpster fire, but not this kind.
Vegas basically print your playoff tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been killed with injuries, right? Edmonton, Calgary, but good chances of making the playoffs. And then you thought the Kraken, the Sharks, the Kings, kind of in that middle.
Yeah.
And then the Ducks would be poo-poo bad. But they are, it's astonishing. And they've been doing a good job at the rebuild. If you look at the Canucks, where even though the Ducks, they were just in the playoffs a couple of years ago, but they've done a good job of building that young talent and letting those guys develop, and then kind of piecing it with some of their older guys, like John Gibson and stuff like that. But Trevor Zegras looks like a freaking stud. You've got all these young guys. Troy Terry, who you could tell me is either a rookie or has been in the league for 10 years, and I would believe you. I think he might actually be both. But he's been on fire this year. It's been, I hate to say it, but it's been kind of fun to watch. And this is kind of what you thought the Kings were going to do with all their young prospects, and they were going to start to peak. But the Ducks are beating them to it right now. And yeah, as a Sharks fan, it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, the Ducks are just a little bit ahead of schedule in comparison to the Kings, I feel like. And yeah, no, I hate that it's fun. Yeah. And I hate that Trevor Zegras is on this team because he is just so fantastic. And we're recording Tuesday night, and he just had that mind-blowing assist.
The Michigan assist where he pops it over the goalie.
Yeah, I was like, how do you do that? I'm not even coordinated enough to walk down a flight of stairs, but okay. But they're just so interesting because they fired their general manager because things weren't looking good.
And I think though too, the firing your general manager piece where that was, he had his issues and stuff like that. And I'm glad that the Ducks were proactive about it, when kind of as soon as they found out about it, they were leave of absence, and and then they went from there. But, the Ducks, they've done a good job of acquiring young, talented players. And that's what happens when you pick high in the draft for a couple of years, but you still have to make the right picks. And it seems like they've done that so far, especially with Zegras and, Jamie Drysdale, he's going to be a stud too. And it's in acquiring these picks and using them in the right way. But yeah, I thought the Ducks were still going to be another year away or 2 years away before they were, and it's been fun to watch them play. It feels gross saying that, but yeah, it's, especially with the kind of the chaos that they've had to deal with in the front office, but the kids have been playing well, and they've been rewarded for their making the right picks.
Oh, absolutely. And earlier this week, the writers at NHL sat down and kind of had a Q&A with Jeff Solomon, who joined the organization 6 months ago and is now running the team.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's incredible, because I feel like you kind of have to be born into a front office or marry into it. But I think one of the quotes that stood out to me was that nobody's job is permanent and safe without getting results. And it's still early, but he's getting results.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what he has to do, because he hasn't really had to do too much, when it comes to like player transactions. So I'm very interested to see with how they approach this trade deadline. If they're going to be buyers this year and maybe like try to make one of those runs, or if they're going to maybe try to stay the course and let these young guys develop and continue to kind of build assets and build through the draft that they have been doing. But because like going into next year, like they've got a ton of cap space. So for on Cap Friendly, they have 12 guys signed onto the roster, and they're going to have about $41 million projected cap space. Like you're going to have like you're going to have to kind of decide on some guys, but like, yeah, they're going to be interesting to see like how especially they got a bunch of guys kind of coming off the books. Like, are you going to kind of be really aggressive this off season, or are you going to, kind of let your young guys continue to develop? So,
yeah. And I think obviously, like you said, he hasn't had to do a lot yet, but the draft will be huge.
Yep.
And how I just think back to the 2015 draft and how the Bruins messed that up horribly, and how that will probably be Don Sweeney's legacy, aside from having the Ducks retain 75% of David Backes's contract. But, I just you don't wish that on anyone, that kind of flub messing up, whatever. But, good luck to him. He seems like a good guy. I don't know. I hope that it's a better work environment, at least.
Yes, I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, it's like a better work environment because nobody wants to go to work when you're dealing with some of the stuff that they had going on. But yeah, kudos to the Ducks. As soon as they figured out, they took swift action, and they didn't let it linger around for 10 years like certain organizations have done recently. So yeah.
Don't know who that could be, but coming up next, we're gonna play I wouldn't say armchair GM, but
armchair owner. NHL.
What did I call it? NHL Sims or something.
Yeah, armchair commissioner. Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna decide where to move Arizona. Well, not the state, but the Coyotes. And Arizona can stay where it is. But first, we're going to talk about BetOnline AG. Maybe they have a line or like a prop on their website about where a bet. Are they going to move to Quebec? Are they going to move to Texas? We'll have to find out as the rumors heat up. But BetOnline AG has you covered for all of your season sports bets. I cannot read today, you guys. I am so sorry. BetOnline AG remains your number one spot for all your sports action this season. Head on over to the new and updated website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit when you use promo code LOCKEDON. That is promo code LOCKEDON when you make your first deposit. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, UFC, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline AG has you covered. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, Arizona, you know,
It sucks having a franchise ripped from a team, and like that's the word. Like, especially if you're from that area, like,
yeah,
and stuff like that, and you grow up a fan, and like having a franchise picked up and moved, and like it's brutal for a fan base, and that's why we're going to make dumb places for the Arizona
right.
Coyotes to go. So.
I just like every time Sarah and I talk about them on this show, like it's so negative. So
we
why
still
not
have
have
Shane
fun?
Wright soon. That'll be nice.
Yeah, like you know they'll be fine.
Yes.
But where are you moving them first?
My first spot, I think Texas, because I think either Houston or San Antonio. Take your pick, because I mean, you've already have kind of like you already have rinks there or stadiums there between the Spurs and the Rockets, and I mean, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to turn a basketball stadium into a hockey rink, but you could do that in the meantime while you build an actual rink, and then you get that natural rivalry with the Stars, which I think. The Stars, I know they're kind of rivals with Nashville and stuff, but like I feel like having that interstate, that Texas rivalry would be good for them. So that would be one of those places would be fun. And then you don't have to worry about changing the logo and stuff like that. They can still be like the San Antonio Coyotes or the Houston Coyotes, and it still makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that an in-state rivalry would help put people in the seats and would help pay the rent, which may be an issue now. I'm not really sure what the eviction is.
Yeah.
But I know that people are big on moving another hockey team back to Quebec. So, for the same reason as that rivalry, they can go right to Quebec. And that puts another hockey team close to me. So
there you go. That's what matters, right?
I'm very selfish when I make these decisions.
But the Quebec Coyotes just doesn't have the same, it doesn't roll off the tongue. So they'll probably have to change the name and all that stuff. Would they go back to the Whalers and rip that out of the Carolinas?
They should. They should do it to.
Or that was not the Whalers. My bad.
The Nordiques.
Nordiques, yeah. Sorry, rip that from the Avalanche,
Yeah.
Because Avalanche have been there for long enough. They have their own history.
Yeah,
they were there.
And stuff like that. Yeah, they've been there for like 25 years. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Another fun one. Yeah. Salt Lake City.
It's cold there.
It's cold there.
People ski.
But
that wouldn't be bad.
Our boss would be happy. I think he could call Jazz games and then call Coyote games.
That would be perfect. And I think it's a great location wise. I think
you're still kind of close enough to because half of Utah, it's pretty close. I mean, they already have the Utah Jazz, which is Salt Lake City's known for its jazz scene. So,
Yeah, honestly, give the mascot like a saxophone or something, a trumpet, just roll it out.
A coyote
Vegas,
Yeah, I like that. So then you can work on. I mean, I guess Vegas is still, but I feel like Vegas, even though they're close, Vegas is rival the Sharks, even though that's kind of a big rivalry, even though the Vegas has gotten the better of them recently, but I think the big thing is trying to find a natural rival, even for the Sharks, right? You have the LA teams between, and then you have Vegas, and you're going to have that rivalry between Vancouver and Seattle, and you have Calgary and Edmonton, trying to find them a friend. That's the problem. The Arizona, they just haven't had a friend to be rivals with.
They need, So just there's the Battle of Alberta, there should just be the Texas Showdown.
Yeah.
Or something. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to move to Texas, but for the sake of a hockey team, sure. This isn't real life. We don't get paid enough to make these decisions. And I know that it's a little bit above my education as well. But so are we settled on Texas then?
I think Texas makes the most sense. That's probably makes the most sense. Then they can be friends with the Stars. So,
ooh, we could get those Stars, like electric green jerseys with the purple Coyote jersey, like those
why
match.
don't they let them do that? That like last year when the Sharks had their 30th anniversary, how beautiful of a jersey matchup would that have been? Like those
It would have been
retro.
perfect.
Yeah, please NHL, like let us have like a little bit of fun.
Like my fun should not be dunking on beat writers.
we
Like
want
that
to
should
see beautiful like jerseys and get out like all this blue and red. Like we want like those
we
teams
want
that have
more.
these like fun like colors. Like let them
Yeah.
play against each other. Where it's
Just
not just
let the Sharks out of the tank
yes.
and let them have their fun. But speaking of letting the Sharks out of the tank, we are just about to puck drop. So I am going to have to let you go. But before that, can you plug your social media? Where can people find you?
They can find me personally on Twitter at my fry hole. You can find Locked On Sharks at Locked On Sharks on Twitter, also Facebook and Instagram. But Twitter, where we mostly post memes and make fun of ourselves. We had a good episode where we kind of dug into the 2020 and 2021 draft class. So go check that out on YouTube as well. There's fancy graphics, so I worked really hard on that one.
I saw that's how you promoted the show, and I was like, oh, I should like check this out. But thank you so much for jumping in as our emergency backup host. And
the
thank you all. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
No.
Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Locked On NHL. And you can find us every day of the week on your favorite podcast platform and, of course, here on YouTube.